Dennis, how you doing today, man? How's everything going with you, bro?
I'm good, man. Thank you guys for having me on. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. I love doing things with the Albanian community. I told you this before, so I think this is going to be very, very nice, exciting, and amazing for all of us.
Dennis,
Yeah.
first of all, the Albanian community near and far is exceptionally proud of you. You've become a household name. Every kid looks up to you. The buen boxerci Denisi, and it's not just the physical aspect, it's also the mindset, what you've brought in terms of breaking barriers and competing at a higher level. Knowing all of that and being in the US now and being a fighter and being in Vegas and preparing for one of your biggest fights this month, what would you say to Dennis 10 years ago, the younger version of you who was imagining all of this? Did he imagine that you'd be here today? And what did he go through to kind of get here?
Wow, that's an amazing question. I don't even know how to start to answer this. I've never been asked a question like that. That's actually amazing. Oh, that's deep. I mean, I would just tell younger Dennis to just keep working hard. Like no matter what, anything in life, whether it's fighting, and I think fighting is a metaphor for any type of profession, is just to work hard and either go all in or don't do it at all. And I think that applies to everything and to everyone. If you're really to do something and like with all the setbacks and hard obstacles and setbacks and whatever the case may be, as long as you just keep going and really believe in yourself and believe in God, then really anything's possible. So that's what I would tell my younger self. Just keep going and believe in yourself before anything, and it will pay off. And so far, it's been a tough journey. But that's what makes the story better. It wouldn't be a great story if it was just all the way to the top. So I'm grateful for everything.
How old
How'd
were
you
you?
know? Like, oh yeah, I was gonna say, what was like the first thing where you kind of realized where you were like, this is the thing I want to do. Like, I knew I want to be a fighter. Like, who influenced that?
I mean, to be honest, bro, we're Albanian growing up in New York. Like we would always get into fights growing up. So I was always fighting, getting into trouble. And then I just always loved the action movies, like Jason Statham and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I really want to learn how to do this. I just always loved like the physicality of it, the combat and everything. So I started karate as a kid, and then I did it for fun, and then I met Rashad at jiu-jitsu when I was 14 and he was 13. And then he's brought me to his boxing gym and his kickboxing gyms, him and his dad Adrian, who I love to death. And then I started doing construction for a few years, and then I saw like Conor McGregor is really the one who started blowing the UFC up. I always knew about the UFC, but I never really cared too much about it. And then when I was like, wow, like people are making like good money doing this, and I can fight and not get in trouble, and people actually love me for it, I was like, I'm in. So that's
The
when
true
I
Albanian
found the
way.
gym. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's when I found the gym in Long Island and really started taking it serious and made it my career.
Nice. So there was not one fighter that you were just like, this is the guy I want to kind of be like, or like it was more just your own influence, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Conor was coming up, uh, I think it was around the time he fought Dustin Poirier the first time. Like I had people like telling me like, "Yo, this guy reminds me of you. Like the way you move and like your attitude." And they were saying he's kind of cocky, but like, you're not cocky, but just confident. And I
Mhm.
was like, "Yo, let me check him out." And I was like, "Holy shit, this guy's really good."
Yeah.
So, I mean, if there's a fighter who had an influence on me, maybe McGregor. I used to watch Fedor Emelianenko a lot as a kid, on YouTube. So maybe
Yeah.
these two guys I would say have influenced me.
So those are two good champions, man. Mold yourself over too. So I like that. I like that.
Great
Yeah,
Connor's the
the
man.
answer.
legends. I
Connor's
love
definitely the
Connor. I
man.
met I met him in Vegas. He's cool, man. He's cool people.
That's one of my favorite UFC fighters. So that's pretty dope that you
Irish
got to meet
Albanian
him.
connection, definitely.
Yeah, no,
We
that's what's up.
support Albanian
His
fighters.
his his main security guard is Albanian. His name is Dennis too.
I think if
Some
you're
somebody
your name is Dennis, you're gonna be a fighter at this point. That's it.
Yeah,
Somehow.
no other way. Yeah.
So when you're first starting out, Dennis, and you have these big dreams. And, you know, I don't like calling them dreams because someone like you, I feel like you have plans and you
Mhm.
know what's possible and you go after them. And whether it applies to fighting, whether it applies to art or writing or creating a business, not everyone understands where you are mentally because you're seeing a vision no one else can see. How do
Mhm.
you deal with those people that might be the negative talkers, the setbackers that don't see your vision or where you're going, to kind of cancel them out and to continue moving forward with what you want to accomplish from your experience or people wanting to do the same thing today?
Mhm. Another great question. I would say like the way I block them out really is it goes back to really believing in yourself, you know, because you have this vision in your head that other people won't see until it's time for them to see it and the rest of the world will see it. And that takes time, obviously, in years. But really just believing in yourself and trusting yourself and trusting God again. And then also kind of using that as motivation to prove them wrong, you know. So
Yeah.
if you let the negativity get to you, then really you're not cut out for any type of success because success is not easy. There's always going to be naysayers and negativity. And even when you are successful, that's even more when they'll come. And that's when you know you're doing something right. So um, it's really just, it all comes down to believing in yourself in anything you do.
Was there a particular fight that you remember that truly elevated your mindset or helped you break some barriers in yourself, whether it was good
I
or
think,
bad, because you learn from losses too?
yeah, I think it was my pro debut. I had just turned 21. It was like 2 weeks after I turned 21. I fought in Bellator. So I went from fighting in the regional scenes as an amateur in like small shows in like the city or in Long Island, in Jersey. And then when I made my pro debut, it was like in a big arena in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum. And I had just turned 21, and the opponent I had, it was a guy, Ryan Castro. He was like a champion in like four divisions, like from 145 to like 185. He won championships in all those weight classes as an amateur. So when they gave me that fight, I was like, holy shit, you know, this guy's like crazy. He's fought giants and he beat them and became champion. And he has experience over me. He's older, you know, I'm just a kid. So I was really nervous for that fight and I trained my ass off. Like, you know, at the time, like never before. Um, and then I knocked him out in the first round. And then I was just like, man, but I believed in myself. And then I think that fight was what made me really realize that, like, if I really do this and I believe in myself and keep working hard, then like, you know, I could do anything I want to do.
Yeah, that's what's up. I like that. I like that. Who like introduced you to the Sarah Longo camp? Like, was that the place you already knew you were gonna start, or you knew somebody, or you were just like, this is the perfect place for me? Like, who
Yeah,
introduced
so
you there?
I really didn't know anything about like MMA gyms or how like the stuff worked. Because it was technically a new sport. Because I really used to box with Rashad. That's really what I was doing, and kickbox. So MMA was a whole new sport. So then I was asking around. I was training at the UFC gym in Staten Island because that's where I'm from. I was training there, and I was asking around like, what are like the highest level gyms in MMA like around here in the East Coast? You know, like between New Jersey and New York. So then it was either between like Sarah Longo team or Nicatone's in Jersey. And I was like, you know, like I'm a New York guy. I want to keep it New York. Like, you know, I don't want to rep New Jersey. Nothing against them, but I was like, you know, I love New York, so I'm gonna keep it that way.
Feel you.
And then from Staten Island, so I used to do construction and I went to school too. I was in college. So I would wake up at 5 a.m., uh, go work 7 to 3:30 or to 4, take a nap in my car 30 minutes, and then drive another hour and a half to Long Island and train. And then I would get home at like 10, do my online classes and online homework shit, excuse my language, my homework stuff.
You're good.
And then fall asleep around midnight, 1 o'clock, and then wake up at 5 again and do it every day. So that's really how I progressed into like the beginning of my career.
Yeah, because that's a pretty good gym, man. What is it? 3 champions they produced there, and a couple legends there, Matt Serra, Aljo, and all these guys. So you're in a pretty good situation. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. So they've been bringing me up since I came to the gym. You know, they called me like the next generation of champions there. So it's amazing to see like it's like a family vibe in there. You know, like we're all family, we're all friends. Like we're always all there for each other. Like every time Rob fights somewhere or Aljo fights somewhere, we always fly out and support each other. So it's
Yeah, I've always seen you guys are a close clique, which is good.
yeah, it builds a camaraderie, man, and it gives you like more trust and confidence in your team.
Yeah, that's nice, man.
So, Dennis, what is your connection to the Albanian community around you? Where do you come from? What's your background in Albania? And how do you feel connected to that space where you're from in New York and Staten Island, you mentioned, or
Yeah, Staten Island. I grew up in Staten Island.
Staten Island?
So my family, I was born in Staten Island in New York. It was always like my mom's dream for her kids to be born in America, you know, growing up in communism, the way they grew up. My family's from Shkodër, northern Albania, but from the villages, like right outside of Shkodër, right outside of the main city. My dad's from Belgush. Shkodrans will know this. My dad's from Belgush, my mom's from Ranza. So technically, I'm a Melgushian. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of where I come from in our history. Like we know where our last name came from, like Buzukja.
Yeah.
When my ancestors settled where they settled, they would say like, you know, Atanyas Shekalang Buz Uikut. Like we lived so close to the wolves, so we
Mhm.
talk like Buz Uika, Buzukja. And then over the years it turned to Buzukja. So you know, knowing where you're from and your roots and your identity, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I'm very proud of my people and what we've accomplished. And through all the war and the suffering over the years, uh, I'm very proud of our people and what we're doing now. Like we got like 25 years of freedom after 97, after the Civil War. And look how beautiful Albania's become. And look how beautiful the people are doing around the world. You know, you got Dua Lipa, you got Capital T, Noisy in London. You know, it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. You got Granit Xhaka and Shaqiri in soccer. Like,
And now
you
we
know,
got Dennis Buzukja.
it's just God willing, man. I climb up into these levels,
Hey,
but I just
you're
do what I
getting there.
love. You know. Thank you,
Good,
bro. I
man.
appreciate
And
that.
for our viewers, we want to let them know that Dennis has a big match coming up at the end of this month. Dennis, can you tell us a bit about this match and the date that is on so we make sure everyone near and far tunes in and supports you?
Yeah, thank you. I'm fighting March 30th in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So it's kind of close to home. It's like a 2-hour drive. It's not far at all. So like kind of home turf. And I fought there so many times in Atlantic City. Um, it's a UFC fight night. So I think I'm not sure what time I'll be fighting. I don't know which fight I am. I find out that week. But yeah, March 30th in Atlantic City is the next big. I'm fighting a guy from Boston. He's actually teammates with the guy my teammate is fighting. So it's like a team versus team type of thing coming up right now. So it's pretty
I
funny.
like that.
But you know, every fight in the UFC is a very hard fight. It's like it's the best of the best in the world. You know, so it's amazing to be here, and they're an amazing company, amazing organization. I really love them.
Uh, Tell me though, what was like a moment for you where you felt like a setback or something like that, where you had to a defeat or something, and how did you bounce back from it? Because I know recently you have a loss, like you said, on your record, where you felt like you could have still kept going. Like, how do you feel like you're bouncing back from this? What is something that goes on into your mind every day
Yeah.
since that?
So like my last fight, I got caught in the first round. I got dropped, and I was coming up for the, you know, we call it a single leg, grabbing the leg and recovering up. So that was always my biggest fear, like getting finished in a fight. It was like, you know, especially in New York, in my hometown, and then like getting finished, not putting on a good performance. It's always been like since the beginning of my career, my biggest fear. And I think because like that held me back, because I had that on my mind so much, it held me back from just going and doing what I want to do. So now that it happened, I was like, man, I didn't die, you know, like I'm still alive, I'm still here, like everything's fine. You know, I got up, really like nothing happened because I wasn't hurt. So like moving forward now, I feel free, you know, like
Yeah.
I got like it was my biggest fear in my career. Now that it happened, and you know, it's gone, it's done with. I'm just like, man, I feel free. So now in my training and in my, you know, mentality and everything, because of course there's a lot of stress in this game. I call it the hardest paycheck in the world to earn. You know, fighting another man who's been preparing for you and who this is their living as well. I just feel free, man, you know. So and again, going back to anything that anyone does, I think, you know, with the major setback, you learn from it, and you went through it, and it didn't kill you. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I'm just very excited for this next fight, man.
You sound
Okay.
very disciplined when you explain what you've been through, your mindset, and how you kind of attack problems. And I think a lot of the best fighters do say that a disciplined life is a happy life. And that permeates
Mhm.
towards all areas of life, whether it be your daily schedule, family, ambition, work. What role does discipline play in your life, in your daily schedule? If you could go through that and just explain that in general.
Yeah, so really, people don't realize this, but discipline is literally everything. Like it's 100% like the most important thing, like discipline and consistency. Uh, because motivation wears off. You know, you'll have motivation in the beginning. You might start something and you get excited. Maybe you get a setback and you're like, "Ah, I don't want to do this anymore, or it's not for me, or whatever." So if you do the little things you're supposed to do every day, you know, making sure like the present moment, you're doing everything you possibly can in the best possible way, then over time, all the big things will start to like the small things will add up into the big things, and then you know it forms like this picture that you have in your head that you envision, and then it just comes to fruition. You know, so if you stay disciplined and you do what you're supposed to every day and in each moment, then you know, as long as you don't stop, then how the only one who could stop you is yourself. So as long as you stay disciplined and keep going, there's really no reason anyone can make it, especially in this country.
Agreed.
How'd your parents feel like when you step in the cage? Like I know every Albanian mom is like kukuna, you know, like they're always
Yeah,
protective
yeah.
of their kid. Like, what do your parents think every time you step to a, to the cage, bro? Like, what is that feeling for them or the people that support you very closely?
No, they hate it. They hate it. Their heart's racing. And I know how it feels when my friends or close people fight. Like I hate it. And but especially for parents, I can't imagine what they feel. You know, I'm still their baby. In their eyes, I'm always their baby.
Yeah.
So my mom especially, but they're strong. You know, they're tough. They know I'm in there. I train well. I prepare. And I belong in there and doing what I do. So I didn't get here for no reason. So they believe in me, you know. But in the beginning, it was very hard, and it's still hard. Every fight is always hard, but you know, those 15 minutes for them feel like eternity. They say, but they you know, they're tough. They're tough. They've been through a lot, you know, in life. Of course, being Albanian, growing up in that system. But they're very tough people. I love them.
Yeah, they know we got the warrior spirit, bro. So that's how we
Yes.
are. I like that. I like that. Dea, you got another question or no?
Yeah, no, I have a couple questions. I think I also want us to do a speed round of Albanian questions to just a
Okay.
bit about Dennis's preferences, and then we can add more onto the interview. So, Dennis, without thinking, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and you just have to pick your favorite thing out of the list,
Okay.
okay? We'll start with the easy stuff. Dennis, brek me mish apo brek me spinach?
Brek me spinach.
Oh,
Brek me spinach, okay. Pushime në
wow.
Vlorë apo pushime në Dërmi?
Oh, they're me. I love their me.
Okay, kur ke qenë herën e fundit në Shqipëri?
Ka herën e fundit në Shqipëri kam qenë këtë verë që ka kalu, kam shku me familje, po në dërmi
Mhm.
kam qenë para 2 vjet me një shok Christian Prenga, një bokser, më ka pëlqyer shumë. Ka pëlqyer shumë, s'ka pas shumë njerëz shumë rëmuj, ka qenë i qetë, uji më të bukur në botë që e kam pa. Se unë e kam shiti tonë botën, po kur mjetë s'kam pa uji ashtu.
That's so
Uh,
true.
yeah, muzika, you know, ambianca tona, like më ka pëlqyer shumë. I love They're Mia Kakanye, ni Mekalipa mo.
I like he was
It's
with
a
my Merdit guys over here.
Yeah.
I
I love
like
my
that.
Majid people.
agree with you, and I share that sentiment. I think I've seen most waters in the Caribbean from Turks, Antigua, and then going down to parts of Asia as well. But the water in Albania and southern Albania, it looks like Gatorade blue. It's see-through. It's
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
insane.
Can't replicate it.
I've never
And so
experienced it. I've never seen it.
It's
I've only been in
amazing. It's
Kosovo.
amazing.
so I think the next one will be an easy question, but këngë popullore shkodrane apo serenata korçare?
Këngë popullore shkodrane.
Për shembull, ke ndonjë që të pëlqen shumë, ndonjë të preferuar?
Se e kojnë. Nicole Nikrela, I think e kojnë.
That's my boy.
Okay. We'll look that up and insert it into the clip.
Yeah.
Nicole
Share
Estrada is the
as
goat.
well.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
I love
Who
him.
is your favorite Albanian artist at the moment that you keep listening to maybe on repeat or when you're at the gym, for example?
I love Capital T. I have a very close relationship with him. We spend a lot of time together. We're always talking. We literally just talked today too, actually. So he's my number one guy. And also there's this kid Eli. He's from Sweden actually, and I've been playing his music every day on repeat. You know, like he's my guy right now. Like for this like present moment, Eli. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's a beast.
I know.
He's nasty. So right now that's my top guy. But Capital T is always my number one.
I come from the music world, so I know a couple of these guys.
He's this kid. I'm probably like me and my boy Dardun. We're probably like his top two streamers right now.
That's what's up.
That's real support. Thank you for putting us on to him, and we'll make sure to check out his music as well. And I think after that question, if you had to choose an Albanian city to live in for the rest of your life, what would it be? And it can be
Shkodër, hands down.
Shkodër.
No, Shkodër, yeah, Shkodër, of course. They say mechanic
Shkodër.
Shkodër ban.
Apo do e thoja me qenë Shkodran tona e ban. The Denisi is living proof of this.
Yeah,
sentiment as
absolutely.
well. I think we have no other idea in our minds that you're going to win at the end of this month, and no other possibility exists in our mind, and we can't wait to see you on that day and moving forward in the history that you're going to create, because truly we believe you are one of the history makers in the world now of UFC and in mindset and mentality, bringing that forward to the world. And I guess one more question that I have, then I'll leave it over to Rock, is that what have been the greatest mental blocks that you've broken through training and fighting? And they don't just have to be physical in terms of fighting, but it can be your introduction to the business world. It can be dealing with people that are outrageously prepared and are professionals in that field. And what was that like?
That's a good one.
Ooh,
Maybe shift
these
to
are deep questions. Yeah, these are deep questions. I think a huge thing has been the amount of commitment that I saw like at the highest level that you have to have. And being a UFC fighter and coming up in MMA, and especially meeting so many successful Albanians, the one thing like we all have in common is just we won't take no for an answer. Like it's either we're gonna figure it out no matter what, or we just die. And that's really what it is. And even in the sport of the UFC of MMA, it's just like when you even in training, like sometimes you have like these really really hard sessions where it's like you're wrestling for 30 minutes and every round or every half round is like a fresh guy, and you're tired and it's just like I won't give up. It's just fighting through it and then overcoming these barriers and these mental blocks that you have. And when you finally do it, it makes you feel like you could take over the world, and then that's really what it is. It's just really just not taking no for an answer and just keep going. So, and I found that type of similarity in like so many successful people, especially Albanians, because we have a very strong will. So I would say that's probably like the biggest thing.
That's beautiful. And I think it's something many people need to hear in whatever stage they are in their lives, that commitment, that discipline, and getting through it, no matter how much pain there might be, mental or
Mhm.
physical, to get to the goal. So thank you for that, Dennis. That's a beautiful answer.
Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful questions.
He looks ready to fight with George Casiote right now. So I see
The
the
beard.
hunger. I see the hunger.
I don't have a barber out here, bro. Everyone keeps saying they like the beard, but I don't have a barber out here.
Nah, bro, it fits you well, bro. It fits Albanians well in general.
I
That's
need
why
a
I
I
keep
need a
trying all
haircut.
the time. Yo, what's like the biggest misconception people get or have towards like people who are in UFC and that do MMA? Like, what is the biggest misconception people have of you or any people you know? You know, like what's something that people always look at in that way?
So whenever people like find out I'm in the UFC or an MMA fighter or something, like after a few minutes of conversation with me, they just don't believe it, because I'm like sweet and like joking and laughing and stuff. And that's how all fighters really are. So they think like most regular people think like UFC fighters are aggressive and like these hotheads and crazy, like meatheads, juice heads, or whatever you want to call it. But you get the picture. But we're
Yeah,
really not. I think if I'm being honest, I think out of all the sports in the world, I think we're the most humble because we know what it's like to get our asses kicked and show up the
Mhm.
next day. Because the only way to get good in this game is to get your ass kicked and to get humbled. So that's really a misconception. Yeah, we're all really just laid back people. We're regular people too.
yeah.
When I think of some
Who's
of the
oh
greatest of all
sorry.
time, like Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson, and you think of their personalities off of the ring, they're exceptionally kind, they're sensitive, they're in line with themselves, with their spirituality, and with
Mhm.
God. So the fact that you say that truly resonates. And I think people should know that you have a personality behind the scenes and fighting as well.
For sure.
Yeah, like what people see on camera in the cage while I'm in the cage, that's a different person. I don't, and then we can't really explain it. Like I don't know if you want to say like an alter ego or like I really don't know. Like it's like something just changes in our heads, and it's just we're not, like our like Dennis Buzukja is gone in the cage. Like he doesn't exist. And I guarantee like every fighter you ask will say the same thing because we talk about it a lot, and that's really what it is. Maybe it's something like we were born with it. I really don't know. Uh, but outside of it, we're all, like I said, like you said, regular people. And I think also like the God-fearing people have this extra little notch above others because if you look at like Muhammad Ali, like you said, or Mike Tyson, or even Khabib in Islam, Islam's a fighter, not, his name is Islam. People who fear God, they have this extra thing in them. I really don't know how to explain it. So maybe it's, God's on our side or on their side. But you brought up a great point by mentioning that.
You definitely need God on your side, man. Everybody, I feel like as soon as, like you're saying, you definitely have God on your side. It does give you some sort of level of, I gotta push. Like he's telling me to
Hmm.
push, and I totally see what you mean, man. And it's a good thing that you do believe in God as much as you do, because a lot of people do lose faith in Him, and it's good that you have that on your side. It's good to speak on it because I feel like a lot of people lose touch with religion and things like this. So it's good that you put all that into perspective with Khabib, Islam, and all these fighters and yourself. So I think that's
Hmm.
cool. Um, keep doing it, man. You got to keep doing it.
Thanks, bro.
Um,
Thanks.
also, one other question I had is who pushes you in training the most? Who's a guy that like really pushes your buttons? Like, yo, Dennis, you're not quitting. You're not. I'm not letting you say no. We're fighting. We're doing this. We're making it happen. Who's that one person in the gym that's always constantly pushing you as hard as they can?
Aljamain Sterling. We train, especially while I'm out here in Vegas. We've every session we've been training together. He's fighting 2 weeks after me, so we're both in camp right now, and we're just grinding. Like, and then after sparring or after a session, we'll go back and be like, "Yo, I had success here," or you messed up this position. Like, let's clean it up. Let's work on it. And we're just, we're always in each other's corner. So I would say Aljo and Marab also. Marab is literally a machine. Like this guy does not stop, and
Yeah,
he works so hard. We all work so hard, but these two guys I would say are really like we're like brothers, really. We bleed together, we sweat together, we cry together, because this game has all types of crazy emotions. So, we're there for each other through the ups and the downs. And this game, bro, it has the highest highs and the lowest lows. I'm sure you've heard this, but there's really
Yeah.
nothing like it.
And what's that like? Like having somebody like Aljo, who's a former champ, Chris Weidman, who's a former champ, training at your gym. Like, do they give you like? Does it give you a whole different perspective and, um, I guess into their mindset as well? How they've become a champ, and now you're pretty much on the way to do that as well because you're still young. You're what, 26, right?
26, yeah.
Yeah, so you still got time too to become a champ, man. What kind of perspective do they give you every day in the gym?
I mean, bro, everything they've learned over the years and everything they've been through and everything they've done right and everything they've done wrong, they teach me everything. And I think the biggest thing for me has been the fact that, especially Aljo, I'm in here, we're pushing each other and we're working hard together. And it's not like I just see this guy on TV. We live together. We lived together for a few years too. And this guy's physically in front of me, and I'm training with him. So the fact that I have this tangible evidence in front of me, it just lets me know more that it's really possible. And there's no secret to it. It's not like only special people can do it. It's just if you really just work hard and do it and do what you're supposed to do, then anything is possible.
Because I remember how many people counted him out, and then he, became champ and defended it too. And
That's always
pretty,
how it goes, bro.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Let me see. They got anything?
I feel like we
I
could
don't want
continue talking all day
to.
about
Yeah.
what he does. I want people to know a bit more about your gym and who it's open to. People that are interested, how they can get involved in that and learn from you, maybe from your platforms online or the areas that you've created in New York and beyond.
Yeah, so I train at it's like the main gym I train at is called Law MMA, like LAW MMA. It's in Garden City in Long Island. It's not far from Queens, actually. And it's open to everyone, all levels. And then the nice thing about our gym is like you'll have like the UFC fighters training with guys on their first day. Like we're like I said, it's a family vibe, so everyone learns from each other. We're all in the same room at the same time together, so it's not like, of course we have our private sessions with just like the UFC fighters and the high level guys, but a lot of the times it's like, regular people who like, or even older people who come in just to get a workout in. They're there, and people are always taking pictures with us, so we're open to everyone. And I always, and like a big thing with me has always been like, now that I'm in the UFC and Albanian, I always hoped like it would inspire young Albanian kids to get into the sport, because we're strong people. We've been through everything throughout history, and I think we have a lot of potential. It's just, maybe in the country of Albania itself, there's not much. But I will say, like Capital T opened a gym in Kosovo, in Pristina, and he's doing wonderful things out there for the sport. So, if there's anyone over there in Kosovo or Shibni, I think they should go to Capital T's gym and check it out over there.
Yeah, I saw he recently opened something. Do you go back ever and like help kind of with training or teaching or anything in that realm?
I was there, I think, 2 years ago. I didn't get a chance to stop by there this summer because I only stayed like, I think, a week or 10 days because I had got the short notice fight. And then my, it's crazy. So when I got the call, I had dropped my family off at the airport to go to
Mhm.
Albania. And I didn't book a flight because I knew a short notice call was coming because the UFC was telling me that something is going to come in the next few weeks. So I was like, man, like, God forbid I go there and then I'm chilling there, for 2 weeks or something, and I'm not training hard, and then I get a call the following week. I won't be prepared. So I was really upset that I was missing like real family time in Albania with everyone. I was really upset about that. And then I dropped them off at the airport and I was heading to the gym. And as I was heading to the gym, my manager calls me like, "Yo, you want to go to Nashville this weekend?" Um, and I already knew what he meant. So I was like, "Yo, book the flight, let's go, send the contract." And then I told my family, and my dad's like, they're like, "Yo, we're getting off the plane right now." They were on the plane when I told them. I was like, bro, I was like, "Yo, just go to Albania." I was like, "I'll fight." I was like, "I'm not gonna die. I'll see you guys. I'll book a flight, whatever happens, and I'll come out there after." So I ended up going just for a few days because Aljo was fighting. I fought the 5th, and then I think Aljo's fight was the 13th. It was right after, so I just went for a few days, and then from there I flew to Boston to go see Aljo because I couldn't miss that fight for him.
A lot of traveling.
Yeah, I travel a lot, bro. It's crazy. I need to get that TSA pre-check, man. My friends keep telling me.
It's
I
worth
spend so much time in security.
it.
What happened?
For sure, get TSA pre-check. It's worth your time. You
Yeah.
just show up at the airport 30 minutes before your flight. You don't have to take off your shoes. It's great. Or your laptop from your bag. And they
Oh,
just
that's
whisk
easy.
you.
'Cause and I'm always late. I've missed my flight a few times because I always like
Oh no.
I'm always running around doing things, and I'm like, yeah, I'll make it, I'll make it, I'll make it. And I think like 3 times I missed my flight. I was so mad. So I think that would definitely help.
Well, soon when you
Well,
become
now
champ, you'll have a private jet.
Yeah. For
McGregor
sure,
status.
bro. Yeah.
I love
It's
it,
a
bro.
good
I
one. I
love it.
love it.
everyone knows where to find you now, where your gym is located at in New York, and to be able to train there at any level, whether you're a beginner, whether you're an expert, or whether you just want the vibe and the inspiration. We encourage everyone to go out there and check it out and to follow your updates. Whatever you're dropping in terms of fights or ideas, people are definitely going to have a good platform to listen to you from. So thank you for sharing all of that with us today as you're preparing for your next endeavor and fight.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, and also like I have like kids from all over the world, like especially Albanians, they message me a lot, and sometimes like I don't always check my messages. But sometimes, it'll cross my mind, so I'll check them, and I do answer people a lot. So, if anyone sees this and they have something to ask me or they need advice on something, I'm always open to talk to them. So I definitely don't mind that.
And they definitely can in the comments and everything too. Once these videos do get posted on the YouTube and on Instagram, they definitely can, which is nice. And you guys are, like I said, your team, everybody's usually pretty friendly, pretty responsive, which I've been appreciative to that when I see people like Aljo or Matt Frivola, or I'm like, man, these guys really are human. And I think it
Yeah,
makes us
yeah.
feel good too as supporters of what you do and who you are. It's a good thing to connect with people.
I
I
appreciate
got
that.
two. I got two questions. One,
Mhm.
um, what is a dream fight of yours? Like any weight
Oh,
class, any person, who would be the dream person you would just love to get in the cage with and just fight?
uh, I think honestly McGregor.
Yeah,
Everyone says McGregor, but I think prime McGregor. Right now, he's made his millions, like mega millions, so he's really not hungry anymore. But I think maybe prime McGregor. I think that would just be. The experience would be sick. I think it would be amazing. So I think that would be my answer. Yeah.
okay. And the second question I had is, who are some up and coming Albanians that maybe we don't know about that you see that are probably gonna make it to the next level in the UFC or into another big brand, or like who are some guys that are unknown to us but known to you that you've talked to?
I mean, so I was always super high on this kid Bernardo Sopai, but he just now he's in the UFC, so I can't really say him. But he will be champion. That kid is amazing. He's 22, 23, works very hard. I love his mindset. So, he's in the UFC now, but if people don't know about him, they will soon. They should definitely check him out. That kid's phenomenal. Who else? I mean, Capital T got some guys that cross train at his gym. So that whole team over there, I can't think of their names all off the top of my head. We just had one. He took a fight in PFL. He won, I think, last night actually. Florim Zanele is his name.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, I'm sure he'll be doing good things. I think there's Alin Berisha over there. Arian Topolai is another one. So they all cross train at Capital T's gym. They're pretty good. And they've been doing really good, actually, I should say. And we got Vilson Rajoni in Jersey. He's another one. I'm sure he's expecting a UFC call soon as well. And we
Okay.
got Armando Jetia. He cross trains at our. Actually, no, he trains at our gym full time now. So, we got Albanians coming up. Otherwise, off the top of my head, I'm not sure. We're not too big in the MMA world yet. I think the younger generation coming up now will start to get more exposed to it. Um, which I'm very excited to see. You know, the talent come up from a young age. Because we've been limited with the training and with the sport because it's newer and we're really the first. You know, Alir Latifi was the first, and then Ramiz
Yeah.
and me, and now Bernardo. So, you know, we haven't been like the country or the people of Albania haven't been exposed to the sport as much. So now, as time goes on, I think the next generation in a few years, we'll see some really new talent and
You,
top level talent coming up.
you think that's gonna be? You think that could become like the main sport there, besides like football, soccer, as we call it?
Yeah, well, Albanians
Yeah.
love fighting. Absolutely.
Yeah. I definitely see it too. I think it is. I think it's probably the perfect sport for us, man. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
all
for real.
that pain and aggression we got is definitely the most perfect thing we could get into. So I definitely see it happening.
There we
They,
go.
anything else you got for this guy tonight? She has some good
I
questions.
think we're going to let him go train so he can prepare
Nah,
for
I'm
his
chilling right now. What time is it? I'm chilling. I'm good. I don't mind.
Well, here for us is 7:16. For you is what, 5, 4?
4:16. I'm 3 hours
How,
ahead.
how's Vegas life been? Is that something you enjoy over there? Is it different over there?
I mean, Vegas itself, I don't really enjoy. You know, I don't gamble. I don't drink. I don't go to clubs. It's just never really been my thing. Um,
Same.
but as a UFC fighter with the UFC facility here, you know, we have like the chefs. They prepare all our foods. We have all the supplements they give us. You know, like they get. I'm drinking this. This thing looks like pee, but it's electrolytes that they gave me.
Secret juice,
So
like Paulo Costa
yes, yeah,
says.
Paulo Costa secret juice. I just saw him today too, actually.
Oh, that's what's
Um,
up.
you know, it's just such a crazy facility. And we have the therapists, you know, like they work on us every day. We have like the saunas, the cold plunges, and then a huge weight room, and then the strength and conditioning coaches. So everything for a UFC fighter is like it's perfect in there, and it's all included because we're in the UFC. So for camp, I think it's amazing here. Otherwise, I'm an outdoor guy, you know. I love going outside. I love having coffees with friends. I love going to the beach, walking around. So otherwise, you know, in summer it's way too hot here. Winter, it gets cold here too because it's a desert. So otherwise, other than training, Vegas is it for me. But I do love Miami. I've been spending a lot of time in Miami recently. Great training and great lifestyle there. So you know, between the two, I'll be bouncing back and forth a lot.
Are you a macchiato guy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know how people just drink it black, bro. It's crazy to me.
Macchiato's the best, bro. Especially for us Kosovars over there. That's
Yeah,
literally that's our
yeah.
water.
Yeah, for real. Bro, in
I
Albania,
love
when
it.
I'm there, I'll drink like 5, 6 a day, you know, and I don't feel bad. Over here, bro, I'll have two, and I'm like, bro, this shit's making me sick.
Yeah, coffee's not the same over here. I
Nah,
think me and Dave were just talking about that the other day. It's like coffee here is not the same as it is in Europe at all,
Albania
bro.
also
nah.
just hits different, definitely for sure. I really like the fact that you mentioned that you don't drink. I personally don't drink.
Yeah,
I
me
think
neither.
Rock doesn't drink as well, out of choice of just simply not being into it. But I just have a question in terms of how clean your diet must be, in order to fight like this. And are you always
Yeah.
worried about cutting or putting on more muscle or being in a certain weight class? And how do you maintain that essentially?
Yeah, so that's another great question, you know, and especially for you asking that you're not like involved in the sport, that's pretty cool. It is a problem, yeah. So, you know, if you're eating garbage, you are what you eat. So, you know, if you eat, you know, McDonald's every day or Wendy's or something, and then you're not gonna have good training and it's gonna affect you, and then you're gonna get injured and stuff. You're just not gonna feel good. And I like feeling good, and I like eating good because I feel good. Um, but I definitely am a sweets guy. I definitely eat a lot of chocolate and sweets, even throughout training, you know. So, which I don't mind
Trileche?
because the sugar gives me energy. What happened?
That's a trileche?
Yo, bro, my mom makes it so good. That I can't have during camp. No, no, but I'll have like a little chocolate here and there. Um,
Love it.
I'm trying to think, but you know, and then it comes into the problem with like adding more muscle. But I have a nutritionist who, you know, he organizes all my, like I weigh all my food out, like to the grams of carbs, the grams of protein, how many times I eat a day. So we keep that in check so I can make weight for the fight. So that goes back to discipline.
I know. Before we got on the pod, you were telling me how you had to cut weight. What was it, 20 pounds?
22 pounds, yeah. For when they called me short notice, it was 4 days notice. They called me, but we weigh in the day before, so they had called me Tuesday night, and I had to fly to Nashville the next morning, and then make weight Friday morning. And I was 168 when they called me, and I had to cut down to 146. So I had to lose 22 pounds in 3 days. And then fight the next day.
How do you manage to do that? Like, what goes into that?
You just kill yourself. Don't eat, don't drink, and just train, burn the calories, and sweat it all out. Like the last 24 hours, especially, like no water, no food, and just literally sweat. And imagine though, a gallon is 8 pounds, and I had to lose 22, so almost 3 gallons of water I had to pull from my body.
So you constantly have to do that a day or two before the fight, every fight.
Oh,
Not at that level because that was short notice. But yeah, like I'll probably cut 16 to 18 pounds in the last week.
a lot.
How do you feel energy wise when that happens? Like, is that
I mean, so look, it goes back to eating good, the discipline, preparing the body for the cut. We do things to prepare the body. And then it's just mental toughness. Like you gotta thug it out and just, suck it up and just do what you gotta do.
goddamn?
That's
That's insane, bro.
That we call it the
Physical-
fight before the fight.
Yeah. Wow.
I think I always, whenever I watch these fights, and I watched Sopai fight the other week as well. My brother's always been into UFC, so he'd make me watch the fights with him. So I learned a little bit through that. But what always intrigued me were the number of fights you guys get to the face and the body. And I can't imagine just being in that kind of space. It's insane. That's why I have so much respect for the sport, to be able to have that stamina mentally, to know I might get hurt badly, but I'm going to do this anyway, and I'm going to stand up until the end. What's it like getting hit the first time when you're having a big match, and then knowing that that person in front of you is a monster, they have no mercy, and it's not personal? Or maybe it is personal sometimes, but
Yeah, and they
you're
got the
going
same goal and dream as you,
getting hit.
Yeah. Honestly, every fight when I'm in the back room and it's like the fight before me is about to end, and it's like, oh shit, I'm next. And because you're preparing for like 8 to 12 weeks for the fight, and we're sitting here right now talking, but in 3 weeks I'm gonna be locked in the cage in front of the whole world watching with another man who's been preparing for me specifically to take my head off. So when I'm in the back room, I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing here, man? Like, why do I do this? We always joke about it. Like, we always say, like, yo, how do we do this? But then again, like I said before, like once that door locks, once that cage locks and that bell rings, it's like something just changes in us, and it's just kill or be killed. Either way, we're not. I mean, we can die, obviously, but we'll heal. Our bodies are used to it, our minds are used to it, we're built for it. So I think you definitely have to be a little crazy to go lock yourself in there and fight in front of the whole world watching you until against another professional. But man, we love it. I don't know. It's just something we love.
Albanians just love danger. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah. We're addicted to it.
I love it, man. I love it.
You makes you stronger for sure. And I think you're the representation of that, and the fighters that keep going into the ring and have people watching them and kind of drawing inspiration for that. And I think you're really either born for it or not. You truly need something special in you from birth to say, that's my calling, that's what I want to do, and I'm going to stick to it. It's your art form, and it's definitely something to be admired and beautiful within itself. But did you have any other questions for Dennis?
Honestly, I had one funny question. If you could swap lives with anybody, any celebrity in the world for 1 week, who would you swap your life with? I gotta ask out of the box question here.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, I'm good with myself, you know, like God gave me what I got. I'm blessed.
I love
I'm
it. I
happy.
love it.
You know, I'm not impressed by money. I don't go after money. I don't go after status or fame or anything like that. So I really, you know, I don't really think I can't think of anyone, honestly, who I would swap lives with. You know, nobody's me. Nobody thinks the way I think. So I'm good with myself, bro.
Good answer.
It's a
Good
good
answer.
answer.
Good answer. I like that. Honey, Dea, anything else from you?
I think we're good. Dennis, thank you
Yeah.
again for taking the time to talk to us today. I'm sure we'll have a chance to speak to you again in the future, in between and after fights, checking in on you to make sure you're okay, first of all, and that
Yeah.
you're recovering well and moving forward. So that kind of wraps up what we wanted to know. We'll make sure that people know when your fight is again, and we'll tune in for that and be supporting you internationally. There's Albanians in South Africa that are rooting hard for you, in China that just live there and just know your name and know when you're fighting. So I
That's
hope you
amazing.
know you have the whole world rooting for you and feeling that
Thank you.
inspiration for you when you go inside that ring.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate everyone, like all the support from all over. You know, I get messages from so many people. It's crazy to think about, you know, like I'm at this level and I'm just doing what I love. And I just really that's really all that it is. I'm just doing what I love. And then to see like people from all over the world like tuning in and really believing in me and so supportive and you know wanting to see me win so bad, I just you know I forget that there's more to it than just me doing what I love and just as a sport aspect of it. So it's really a beautiful thing, you know, and especially the type of people Albanians are. I'm just blessed, you know, and I'm so grateful for everyone from all over the world.
What would you say to a little Dennis right now? Somebody that looks up to you and they want to get started with fighting. What would you tell them first thing to do? Or
A young boy
what's
or
that?
girl who
Yeah, a
message
young
you.
boy or girl that's looking up to you that just wants to start fighting today. What would you tell them is the first thing they should know?
I would tell them like if they really want to do it, then they got to do it. You know, it's not like something that looks cool, or you know, it's like a hobby or something. It's like you have to give your whole life to it. Kind of gotta like, you know, there's a saying like sell your soul. That's kind of what it is. You know, you just have to. You're gonna have to sacrifice birthdays, family time, you know, parties, family gatherings, going out with friends. Like you're gonna have to give all that up for the most part, pretty much. You know, especially when you have a fight coming up. There's no time for anything but yourself. Um, so if you're ready to do that and you're really all about it, then I say go for it. But anyways, like the game will like the game itself will weed those people out, you know, because then if you're not built for it and you're not really dedicated to it, then you're not gonna last. So I think that's why I love this sport because it's everything's about you. You have no one else to blame but yourself. And you know it's a true test of character, you know, like we always say there's a saying like the cage shows the truth, you know, if you worked hard it'll show, you know, if you didn't train hard and you get tired in the fight it'll show, you know, maybe there's injuries and stuff and other things, you know, or if you're mentally weak and you got the guy beating you up and you give up it'll show, you know, so like we can say all the, you know, people can say whatever they want to say, I'm this, I'm that,
Yeah.
but the cage will really show everything. So that's another thing I love about the sport, it's all on you.
And one last thing, let them know again when's your fight, where you're fighting, and where everybody can catch you.
Yeah, so March 30th, again, back in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's the UFC Fight Night. I know ESPN will be showing it, so you know people can watch there. I think Digital in Shibni should be showing it. And yeah, you could just follow me, Dennis Buzukja, on Instagram, on Twitter. You know, I get back to people, you know, if they message me. For the most part, I try to at least. So you know, if anyone got anything, they could always hit me up.
Perfect, perfect. Dennis, we appreciate you. We're honestly supporting you big time. All of Albania,
Thank
all of
you.
Kosovo, the whole diaspora is supporting you. We all got your back. Every other Albanian fighter that's fighting as well, we got everybody's back. We definitely support you. I appreciate you. Dea, you got any words?
Then it's Buzukja, everyone's Albanian cousin by default at this point that we're supporting.
I love
We're
that.
all
I love
one.
that.
We're all
We're
one.
gonna be watching the fight,
Oh,
and be like,
yeah.
that's my cousin. Oh, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
Support my cousin.
I love that.
We're all fam. I love it. Yeah, we're all one.
For sure.
Hey,
We'll
Dennis,
catch
thank you
you
so
on
much,
that.
man.
Thank you
Talk to
guys
you
so
soon,
much.
Dad.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, thank you so much.